everyone, this video is just to explain the paper assignment, the introduction to the research paper. I just wanted to go through and describe what I'm looking for and what you need to do to complete this. So as you know, we're going to be looking at the check-in, check-out intervention, and you are writing the introduction for a research paper where you will be evaluating the effectiveness of check-in, check-out in a classroom of your choosing. So you can decide what type of classroom it is and what type of students you're going to be working with and what the problem behaviors may be or the target behaviors are, but you'll be using that check-in, check-out intervention to see if we can see improvement in student performance. So you're going to be setting this up as a research paper in APA format with the pieces of that paper. There was a video that I posted that you should have watched already. If you didn't, I recommend stopping this and going back and watching that one first. The manuscript structure and content that explains each of the components of a research paper. You're only writing the abstract and the introduction piece of it for this class, but you will be writing the entire paper in 610 and 694. So I would watch that first so you have a good overview of what the entire paper will look like and what each component of the paper is, and then come back to this video to look at what you're doing just for 600. The first thing is that you'll need to identify a title for your paper. There are specific guidelines for what should be included in the title that are outlined in the APA manual. Make sure you take a look at that and follow those guidelines. You're going to write an abstract for this paper. So you're going to pretend that you completed your intervention, and we'll say that your intervention was successful. So you're going to write that abstract as if you had completed the whole paper, including the information that needs to be in there. You've had the opportunity to read lots of research papers, so you've seen what's included in an abstract. It's just that summary. And it doesn't matter as far as the findings because we didn't actually conduct a study. You can have the findings be whatever you would like it to be. Then you're going to write the introduction. And I have broken down the introduction into each of the components of what needs to be included in that introduction. Before I start explaining what each of those are, I just want to make a note that I have some asterisks next to multiple parts of this. I want to make it really clear that these are not headings that would be necessarily included in your introduction. I've simply put these here to help to explain what information has to be included. As long as this information is in your introduction, then that's good. You're going to follow the headings of the APA guidelines, so you don't necessarily have to use these particular headings. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know and I can try to clarify. So anyway, the first thing you're going to do in your introduction in your paper is to introduce the problem. So why are you implementing this intervention? What is the concern that you're seeing? What are the behaviors that you're seeing? What are the problems for the student? So you're going to discuss what the problem or the question that you're going to address, your research question, and why this topic is important. Why is it needed? You can define any terms. For example, you might want to define what is check-in and check-out. Somebody picking up your paper may not know what that intervention is, so you may have to define it. Then after you've kind of introduced the problem and what you're going to be looking at, now you're going to get into the meat of the paper, which is your literature synthesis. So you're taking those studies that you evaluated and you're synthesizing the information from those articles to draw conclusions and to support conducting the study that you have decided to conduct. So you review all the studies, identify themes and gaps in the research. It's not just about this author did this and this author did this. I don't want to see a list of individual summaries of individual studies. You have to go beyond that and really dig into what did we learn? How did these studies relate to each other? Are these findings consistent across all of the studies that you evaluated? Are there mixed results? Once you've done all that, you're going to talk about how those previous studies and the studies that you've evaluated to this point, how do they inform your study? So how did they help you to determine what you would do in your classroom? Then once you've described the literature synthesis, you're going to conclude with how the findings address your problem or question, highlighting the themes that you saw or the themes that were relevant to your current study. And then you're going to present a rationale for your study. So this is where you discuss the purpose of the current study is to do X, Y, and Z, and here's what we think is going to happen. Whoops. You'll also include a reference list in that, and then any tables and figures. I don't think you would have any tables and figures, but if you do, they go after your references in your paper. And then in addition to the actual paper, of course, I'll be looking at your APA style and writing, and so you can see what I'll specifically be looking for there. So that is your paper. The sooner that you get a draft to me, the first draft is due by November 8th. But if you get me one sooner, I can get you feedback. The rest of the semester is going to be you turning in drafts, me providing feedback, and you perfecting that paper. So the sooner you get me a draft, the more opportunities you have for revision and feedback from me. So I hope this helps to explain. Please let me know if you have any questions.